Okay, in this video, we're going to talk about American Airlines stocks. You guys have been leaving a lot of comments on some of my previous videos. So I received a comment asking if I thought that American Airlines stock will see $20 in the near future. And I also got another follow-up comment of someone asking the exact same question, asking if American Airlines stock will hit $20 in December, guys. So this video is about American Airlines stock and where I think the stock is going in the short term. So in case you guys didn't know, I posted a video earlier, I believe it was last week, talking about how was American Airlines a good buy. The stock was trading at low price, so it was only trading at around $9, and that was approximately a week ago. And as you guys can see, looking at this chart, the stock has rallied back up to around $13, so it actually crossed $13 in after hours trading session. So if you guys picked up the stock at around, so you're up pretty nicely, you're up about 33%. So the question is, will the stock continue going higher? So this is going to be the topic of this video, because some of you guys got a bit worried because in my previous video on the top 3 airline stocks, I did not include American Airlines in the discussion, and I'm going to tell you guys exactly why in this video, but why it could be a good potential short-term trade. So let's get into it right now. So one of the things I want to do is that a lot of people have made a little bit of money due to the short-term correction where airline stocks were completely sold off, and now we've kind of rebounded a bit ever since Donald Trump signed the CARES Act, which is providing billions of dollars in bailouts to all of these airline companies as long as their dividend and suspend share buybacks. So I want to give you guys a kind of a long-term picture as the stock here, and one of the reasons why I don't think that this stock is a good long-term hold. So if we take a look at the 5-year chart, we can see that ever since 2008, the stock has been a falling knife. So when I say a falling knife, if you catch a falling knife, you get cut. So that is one of the reasons why that this stock had already been on a downtrend. It reminds me of kind of the situation that I was dealing with for Ford stock, how the stock kept going down, and even though that the dividend yield kept going up, the stock just couldn't recover the downward selling pressure. So that is the number one reason why, for me, this is not a longer term hold. It is simply the stock had already been on a downtrend, and as you can see, the price fell off. So if you currently hold the stock now at around $12, and it used to trade almost at $60, basically a little over 2 years ago, this stock is basically down about 75% over the last just 2 years. So the stock has already lost a ton of value. So for me, it's not a good long-term hold. Now I want to get back towards what are you holding the stock in the near future? Will it hit $20 or not? Well, the most important thing to look into that is we have to take a look at whether or not American Airlines stock will even thrive once the global lockdown ends and things go back to normal. So there was a really interesting article posted on Investor Place, and it says, "Don't buy into American Airlines redemption story here. Patience will be required with AAL stock, but investors can find better long-term stories." So, guys, I like to mention these articles like this because I think they provide a lot of interesting insight and perhaps uncovers some things that maybe people have overlooked. So as we see here, it gets right into it. It talks about the government bailout and things like that. But let's get into the meat and bones of the article and what the biggest problem is. So it says, after nearly being put out of business because of September 11, 2001 terrorist attacks, American found a way to rebound due in part to the government allowing it to merge with U.S. Airways. After that, carriers feasted on cheap debt and buybacks, with American entering 2020 with $29.7 billion worth of liabilities. That is 7 times its current market cap. So guys, as see here, if we take a look at some of the current statistics, free cash, leverage free cash, negative to begin with, dealing with $33 billion in debts. These are the most recent numbers according to Yahoo Finance. So American Airlines has one of the worst debt positions in the entire airlines industry. That is one of the reasons why I do not recommend it as a longer term hold. So if you were to hold this stock until December, that would date for a long-term hold. And considering a company like this with debt load and the fact that their revenue is going to be substantially crushed, epidemic situation, that is why I recommended United Airlines Southwest Airlines and Delta Airlines as better buys. So, is there some short term potential here on the stock price? Well, absolutely. So, I'm going to show you guys. Let's take a more short term chart. There are a couple key resistance levels that I think you should pay attention to because, in my experience when trading stocks, stocks often do it takes a lot of volume, and volume is really what moves stock prices quickly in the short term. So it's going to take a lot of volume to move American Airlines stock all the way to $20. So if you guys take a look here, and what I like to do is with a chart like this, it's very simple. Now I'm currently using TradingView for this example, but you can do this with almost any decent charting software. So as you can see here, we have a lot of resistance at around $17.25. What do I mean by resistance? Well, resistance is where when the stock price gets to a certain point, that is when traders are selling the position. So there's more sellers than buyers coming into the stock. And looking at this stock right now, it has hit resistance 3 separate times over the last month. So will it get to $20? But it's got to cross that key resistance selling point in order to hit $20. So for me, I think it's right in an area of fair value because if you look here, we definitely had some long-term support at around $9, and then we have short-term resistance at around $17. So I still think there's room for this stock to run, but be very careful with this company because earnings will report on April 24th. So circle that date on your calendar, guys. If you own American Airlines stock, that is a really important date. And we expect the earnings to be pretty bad, but they're probably going to be pretty bad for across the board. So what we're really interested in is, will these companies have so much debt that they'll have to merge with other airlines or something like that? So that is a really, really important thing to pay attention to when it comes to American Airlines stock. So for me personally, if I were trading this stock, I think waiting for it to go to $20 could be a bit risky. So I would probably be looking to sell getting closer to the $17 mark because that is where in the past 30 days, that is where the price stopped increasing. So maybe if you bought, obviously a lot of you bought it at $10. If you sell it at around 16 or 17, obviously you're not doubling your money, but you're still up over 50%. And there's an old saying, it says bulls make money, bears make money, and pigs get slaughtered. When I have taken profits on my trades, I have done much better instead of being greedy and trying to hold on and squeeze every single penny out of a stock. A 50% profit is still a 50% profit, guys. And remember, you don't have to liquidate your whole position. What you can do is if you're up 50%, you can simply sell a portion of your position, perhaps. So for example, if you have 100 shares and you bought 100 shares at $10, you have $1,000 stock. So let's say American Airlines stock goes up to around $15 or $16. Well, now you're up to a $1,500 position. So you're up $500. What you could do is you could simply, if you want to limit risk, because we really don't know how people are going to react to earnings season on the 24th. It could be a bloodbath. Maybe people are, just relieved that the numbers are past us and, perhaps the coronavirus cases start going down. So what you could do is you could just take your money back. You simply take your $1,000 back, and then you're left with $500 worth of American Airlines stock, which would equate 35, maybe 35, 36 shares. Just doing it off the top of my head, guys. But in the instance of a situation like this and you're not really sure, I like to take my initial investment back and play with the house's money. So that is a way. You already got your initial investment back. You can wait to see if these shares head to $20 or not. If the stock does bounce off of resistance and comes back down here, well, you've already taken your money back, so you can just let these shares ride. And there is potential for these stocks in the future, but if I were invested in airline stocks, I would be looking towards the other three that I mentioned. Be sure to check out the video that I leave in my description for my top 3 airline stocks to buy. So that's it, guys. I hope I answered this question to the best of my ability. Congratulations if you bought shares at $10, but you definitely want to quickly watch the price action here because it's going to take a lot for American Airlines to reach $20, seeing that the company was already in a very bearish downtrend over the last 2 years, and they are considered the worst airlines in the entire US industry. So that's it for now, guys. I hope I answered your question to the best of my ability. If you guys have any more questions about American Airlines stock or any other airline stocks, please do leave them in the comments. I do respond to each and every comment, and I try to make a video to answer your guys' question. So that's it for now, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and take care.